What if the ugliest stage of your painting is actually the most important? Today, we're diving into the chaotic middle, the unfinished layers, the accidental textures, and the moments that feel like failure to uncover how true artistic meaning is born from the mess. In today's studio, we step into the most misunderstood and emotionally charged stage of abstract painting, the moment when the canvas seems to resist us, when every mark feels wrong, every texture competes for attention, and the surface appears to collapse into noise rather than meaning. This is the void, the mid-process wilderness where intention dissolves and instinct takes over. And if you've ever stood before an unfinished painting feeling equal parts fascination and doubt, then you already know this space intimately. Painting the void, finding artistic meaning in the chaos of unfinished layers, is not simply about technique. It is about learning how to remain present inside uncertainty long enough for the work to reveal its deeper truth. Every textured abstract masterpiece begins as a contradiction, a blank field full of possibility that quickly becomes cluttered with imperfect gestures, failed ideas, muddy transitions, and unresolved tensions. Yet this chaos is not a mistake. It is the living evidence of thought becoming matter. As I begin, I lay down the first passages with confidence, broad atmospheric tones moving across the canvas like weather systems, establishing a mood rather than a map. These early layers are rarely precious. They are fragments of emotion, loose stains of color, scraped veils of pigment, dry-brushed interruptions, and impulsive marks that speak faster than language. At this stage, the canvas is less an image and more a record of psychological movement. The challenge and the beauty emerges when these raw deposits begin colliding with one another. A luminous underpainting disappears beneath a field of slate gray. A sudden streak of ochre fractures a quiet blue passage. A palette knife drags through wet paint, tearing open the surface and exposing memories of previous decisions. What once felt harmonious now feels broken, and this is the exact moment many artists panic. But this unrest is not failure. It is evidence that the painting is alive. The unfinished layers are not asking to be corrected. They are asking to be understood. When I speak of finding rhythm in chaos, I mean recognizing that every accidental edge, every buried color, every scar left by the knife contributes to a larger visual pulse. The surface must breathe through tension before it can arrive at stillness. So instead of forcing resolution too early, I lean deeper into the dissonance. I allow the palette knife to become an extension of instinct, surrendering to its jagged, unpredictable movements as it slices, lifts, compresses, and erases. Unlike the brush, which often smooths thought into elegance, the knife tells the truth of resistance. It fractures certainty. It introduces abrupt ridges, broken planes, and sharp disruptions that mirror the way the mind actually moves through uncertainty. These aggressive textures are not merely decorative. They embody the struggle between control and surrender. Each scrape across the canvas becomes an excavation, revealing hidden chromatic histories beneath the topmost layer, exposing choices I thought were lost. This act of destruction becomes an act of discovery. The void, then, is no longer empty. It is densely populated with memory. Every unfinished layer contains a previous emotional state, a prior rhythm, an abandoned intuition waiting to be recontextualized. As the painting develops, I begin listening more than directing. The eye travels across the surface searching for friction points, for places where the energy rises or collapses, where density suffocates space or emptiness opens a necessary silence. Visual rhythm is born through this negotiation. A thick impasto ridge may need the relief of a translucent glaze beside it. A violent diagonal slash may require the calm authority of a horizontal field to steady the composition. Meaning is not imposed from outside. It emerges through relationships formed in the struggle itself. This is why unfinished chaos is so essential to the process. It generates the tensions that later become harmony. Without conflict, the final serenity of the work would feel superficial, decorative rather than meditative. True stillness in abstraction is earned through confrontation with disorder. There is also a profoundly psychological dimension to this stage, one that many artists hesitate to articulate. The mid-process mess often mirrors the subconscious with startling accuracy. Unresolved thoughts, private anxieties, and emotional residues surface through gesture before the intellect has time to censor them. A compulsive repetition of scraped verticals may echo internal pressure. A refusal to cover a discordant red patch may reveal attachment to a moment of vulnerability. In this sense, the canvas becomes both battlefield and mirror, reflecting tensions we are still learning to name. The beauty of textured abstraction lies in its ability to hold these contradictions without demanding literal explanation. It allows grief and peace, violence and tenderness, fragmentation and coherence to coexist on the same plane. As I continue building layers, I resist the temptation to fix the painting in conventional terms. Instead, I ask what the surface is emotionally lacking. Does it need more interruption, more breath, a deeper shadow of memory beneath the current layer? Often the answer comes through subtraction rather than addition. I take the palette knife and carve back into the body of the work, removing passages that are technically successful but spiritually inert. This is one of the most difficult lessons in painting. Beauty without tension rarely survives. The most compelling surfaces are those that preserve traces of struggle, evidence that the final harmony was wrestled from uncertainty rather than designed into place. Slowly, what once felt chaotic begins to organize itself into a deliberate cadence. Repeated textures establish motifs. Contrasting edges create directional flow. Buried colors flicker through scraped openings like recollections surfacing through thought. The eye no longer stumbles, it journeys. This is the transformation I chase in every abstract work, the shift from noise into resonance. Yet the magic lies in understanding that resonance does not erase chaos, it incorporates it. The unfinished layers remain present, not as visible mistakes but as structural memory, the hidden architecture supporting the final emotional impact. When viewers stand before a finished, textured, abstract painting and feel a sense of depth, mystery, or meditative pull, they are responding not only to what is visible on the surface, but to the accumulated decisions, erasures, and recoveries embedded beneath it. That is the paradox of the void. What seems empty is often where the deepest meaning resides. In the final stages, I begin refining not by polishing but by clarifying intention. I search for the painting's dominant voice. Perhaps it is the rhythm of fractured verticals suggesting resilience. Perhaps it is the soft emergence of light through dense charcoal suggesting renewal after emotional compression. Whatever the central pulse may be, every remaining gesture must now serve it. I use the palette knife with greater precision, allowing a single scrape to reveal a luminous underlayer that suddenly resolves the composition. I drag a muted glaze across raised texture so that the ridges catch light while the recesses hold shadow, creating a tactile topography that changes as the viewer moves. This physical interaction with light is crucial to abstract texture because it transforms the painting into an experiential object rather than a static image. The work breathes differently in morning light than it does at dusk. It offers new emotional readings depending on angle, distance, and silence. This is where meditative harmony finally enters, not as perfection but as acceptance. The painting no longer fights itself. Its fractures belong. Its scars contribute to beauty. Its unfinished histories have fused into a coherent emotional atmosphere. For artists watching this process, the lesson is both technical and philosophical. Do not fear the ugly middle. The chaos of unfinished layers is not a detour away from meaning. It is the path toward it. Every masterful abstract surface carries within it moments of confusion that were not avoided but transformed. The void teaches patience, humility, and trust in process. It reminds us that clarity rarely arrives in the first gesture, and that true artistic depth is often born from staying with discomfort longer than instinct tells us to. When we surrender to the palette knife's jagged language, when we allow intuition to converse with accident, when we stop demanding immediate coherence, we open a space where the subconscious can collaborate with form. In that collaboration, the painting becomes more than composition. It becomes a meditation on becoming itself. So as this canvas reaches its final state, what remains is not the memory of chaos as something conquered, but chaos transfigured into rhythm, texture, and contemplative stillness. The unfinished layers were never obstacles. They were the raw vocabulary of meaning waiting to be heard. And perhaps that is the deeper invitation of abstract art, to trust that beneath every fractured surface, every unresolved passage, every void that unsettles us, there exists the possibility of unexpected harmony, a silent order emerging from instinct, memory, and courageous persistence. In the end, the masterpiece is not the absence of struggle, but the visible grace of having moved through it, carrying every buried layer forward into a final surface that hums with life, tension, and peace all at once.